Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Cryptic Cryptids. A quick update. I did find a house in Hemet to move to, and we still have to do the 30-day wait, so I'm still here in San Diego at my mom's, and I'm away from my computer stuff, so I'm going to be making a video continuing on with recounting my Bigfoot research and how it started. And I'm keeping it in the playlist titled Remembering Bigfoot. And I made a video and left off with the encounters I had in Batista Canyon. So what happened next didn't happen for another 2 years. And it happened because Timber and I used to go to all these remote locations and go looking for crystals and rocks at abandoned mines. And she injured herself, so I decided that we would start going to this place that was really close to where I lived and just walking in the sandy riverbed there. So we started doing that like almost every single afternoon, and I started noticing really big, well, all kinds of footprints, but I started noticing really big footprints, and a lot of times they would be dragging something. And so I was aware of Bigfoot at that point because I was watching the show Finding Bigfoot, and that's how I became aware that Bigfoot live in many places other than the remote wilderness up in Northern California. But I still couldn't figure, okay, so what happened was I went through this thought process. I just couldn't believe that there would be Bigfoot that close to the city. And I started looking around and thinking, now why would there be Bigfoot frequenting this area? And what I realized is that there were multiple animal prints. So Batista Canyon is right here, and then the Saboba Indian Reservation is there, and then there's the riverbed, the part of the riverbed I was going to, and right down here in the riverbed were the golf course lakes and water. And water is a scarce commodity, and in Batista Canyon I was finding I found possible bear tracks. Now I really wish I had my photos to show you as I'm making this video, but they are all up in, they're packed away. But what started my YouTube channel was going to this riverbed and finding all these strange footprints. But, I was just a beginner, and so the beginning videos I have of my Bigfoot research in 2013, they're kind of like, jumbly, and I don't do much talking in them, but I do show a lot of the footprints that I was finding. And like I said, I was finding multiple big footprints, and I was finding some cougar prints, possible baby bear prints, and a multitude of just other prints in this area. So putting two and two together, I'm realizing that a lot of animals are coming down here at night, probably from Batista Canyon, and going to drink water from these golf course lakes. So that's when I started to do some research on the area that I was living in, Hemet, to see if there was any other people that had had any other Bigfoot sightings. And come to find out that Hemet is a known Bigfoot hotspot. There have been multiple sightings. In Batista Canyon, there was a person riding a bike, because lots of people ride bikes in Batista Canyon, who had a Bigfoot encounter. There was another encounter near the Ramona Bowl, which backs up next to Batista Canyon. There was a sighting that was reported by two younger people who actually reported it to the police. And these are just the ones that have been reported. There was also some research done by Daniel Perez and Douglas Trapp, who found 17-inch footprints. Those were found near Diamond Lake, I think, and they did some stakeouts and some research, but they don't live in Hemet, so they weren't able to repeatedly come back here over and over. And they just found the 17-inch prints, and these are totally legitimate people who, you know, this is like, the first thing people are going to think is that people are lying or making stuff up. But there are multiple accounts. And then what I'm finding on top of that, and when you go looking there's a really great website called Bigfoot Encounters, and it's all about Bigfoot sightings and reports in Southern California, and it has documentation of these. And anytime you look for Bigfoot sightings in Southern California, they're going to tell you the hot spots, and Hemet will be one of them. And here I am living in a Bigfoot hotspot, and I'm going repeatedly into Bigfoot country. And so, yeah, I'm bound to find evidence. It was also about being aware of the fact that Bigfoot can exist in a lot of places other than just the remote locations, like I said, in Northern California. So I started finding these, I'm going there repeatedly and finding all this evidence. And that is what really started my Bigfoot research, because when I found this stuff in Batista Canyon, I thought, okay, yeah, all of these wilderness areas are connected. Batista Canyon is connected to Cahuilla and all these national forests, and also the 10, which separates the San Bernardino Mountains from the San Jacinto Mountains, has all these underground tunnels to where wildlife can get from one side of the freeway to the other. So that adds to the legitimacy that there are Bigfoot in this area. So I'm going there day after day and, finding all kinds of prints repeatedly. And that's when, the next thing that happened was I invited my city friend up to Hemet because I wanted to do a night investigation, and she had no idea what she was getting into. But she's always been really willing to go to places that I want her to go to and do things that I want her to do, but never anything like this. And that is when, so up until this point, it was still kind of like a joke in a way, and it was kind of funny, whatever. But when I did the night investigation with her, that really changed me a lot, because I realized that it's not a joke. Wildlife living on the edge of civilization is not a joke. It's life and death. It's, animals being preyed upon, animals killing other animals, and it's not funny. There's nothing funny about it, actually. And the night investigation, it started as kind of something funny, but I do have video of it, and that really changed me and made me realize this is very serious, this is dangerous, and it's not a laughing matter. So that happened. I had her come up, and we were going to, oh my gosh, listen to this. This is so funny. This will never not be funny. So she had a new boyfriend, and she told her boyfriend, I had never met him, so he didn't know anything about me and my quirkiness, but she told him she was coming to Hemet to go Bigfooting with me. Okay, and we did our night investigation. Well, when she got back to San Diego, he was mad at her because he thought that Bigfooting was some code for us going to the bar to look for guys with big feet, because big feet means, they correlate big feet with big other body parts, and that we were going to the bar to pick up on guys with big feet. So anyways, that's farthest from the truth. We were Bigfooting, literally looking for Bigfoot. But that is just so funny that, you know, she had to explain, no, really, you know, he just thought it was ridiculous that, yeah, sure, you're going up there to look for Bigfoot. Yeah, no, you guys are going up there to look for guys. So, anyways, that's really funny. But, anyways, so the night investigation happened, and the next thing that happened was I decided to go and use Google Sky Maps to look for other water sources, so I could find other prints. And that's when my Bigfoot research really took off, because I found a place to go, and when I went there, I found so many Bigfoot prints. And not all of them were big, some of them were small. That's when I started finding the nests and getting a feeling that there was a family, because there were a bunch of different sized prints there. And I just got the most amazing footprints. And I wish that I would have done a better job filming, you know, because the film's very bumpy and stuff. But that was just so amazing when I went there to look for Bigfoot prints and I found them. You know, that was amazing. So that's when I started repeatedly going back to this area, and that became my literal Bigfoot hotspot, even though I kind of had a few different ones. This was my real Bigfoot hotspot, and that was like my base. I would go to that place all the time and go up the river and, you know, down the river, and then I found the killing field and the forbidden zone, but I'll get into all that later. I just wanted to continue on with remembering how my Bigfoot research started. And you can also see in my earlier videos the night investigation and all the prints that I was finding. And eventually I made some casts, and you know, those are packed away, but I definitely want to pull those out and show them to you, because there's some unusual things about these prints and the casts that I made. All right, well, that's probably where I will leave off. I just wanted to continue, you know, making my videos, and also continue with this series of telling you about how my Bigfoot research started, and how it escalated, and how it yeah, I won't get into all that, because it gets a little bit intense as I continue repeatedly going back there. And it was sort of kind of like a situation where they would be there at night, and then I would be there during the day, and I think that we were both noticing each other, and I think too that I'll tell you also why I began to feel this way, but I feel like there was a family, and the elders of this family, there might have even been possible, like, you know, multiple families, but there was at least one family. And I think that some of the members of the family, I was stirring an interest in them, in the juvenile ones, but the elder ones didn't like it. They didn't want me messing with them, but I feel like the juvenile ones started to take more of an interest in me, and I will give you the reasons in my next video, continuing on with the Bigfoot research and how it all began and started. It really went on okay, well, the Batista Canyon incident happened, you know, I have dates on the backs of my pictures so I can give exact dates, and I also made a timeline of all the events that I wish I had with me to, like, go over. But that happened in Batista Canyon. It took 2 years, and it was 2013 that my Bigfoot research really started, and then 2014, December in 2013 is when there was an actual incident that was the peak of the escalation. And I'll go over that in another video because that's the whole Kachina connection, and there's some other things that led up to that. But right now, I'll just leave it off to where at this point, I was just like, I got so obsessed with this. I didn't want to even go on any vacations. All I wanted to do was go to the riverbed, but I was also like having trouble finding anyone to go with me because, well, one of the places right up from this, the footprints in the mud that I found was a killing field where there were multiple bones, full entire skulls with spines and everything. There were spines, there were ribs. The bones would be moved around at night. They weren't, I don't think, coming there every single night, but I was going almost every day. It felt like it wasn't every day, but it was almost every day. And then I would go back and find bones moved around, more bones. And the vibe there was really scary. It was also a ambush situation where the riverbed, the weeds are like taller than my head. Different times of the year. At this time, they were taller than my head, so there could be things hiding in there. And then also, the walls of the riverbed are really, really tall, so things could have just been ambushing. I don't know if they were bringing things down there or if they were killing them there, but it was a kill field for sure. Multiple bones moving around and being added, and it was pretty scary there. So I think I'll leave it there for now and continue on later talking about how things progressed from finding those prints in the mud and making the casts and things like that, and then discovering the kill field. And I definitely wish I could be adding some pictures to this, but like I said, in my early videos when I first started the page, you'll see, bones in the kill field and multiple prints that I was finding. All right, well, I'm sorry I'm not able to continue on with my research and my going and exploring videos and stuff like that, but for now, I'm just going to be having to make these videos just FaceTime like this and talking, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. And I'm really looking forward to moving into my new house in Hemet, and that's my Bigfoot hotspot. So I can't imagine what I'm going to find when I go back to these locations that I haven't been back to since 2015. So it's going to be exciting, and I hope I find some really cool stuff to show you. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll be back. Bye.